Welcome back. Minister of Planning and Economic Development Helal Saeed held a meeting by video conference with Environment Minister Dr. Yasmin Fouad, head of the National Council for Women Maya Mursi, and the CEO of a number of banks. The meeting aimed to discuss the strategy of economic empowerment in the villages and towns that will develop during the upcoming phase as part of the presidential initiative Decent Life. And for more on the projects for developing the villages as part of the Decent Life initiative, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Fahmy, our economic expert. Dr. Fahmy, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, madam.
Dr. Fahmy, under the Decent Life initiative, actually thousands of Egyptian villages will be developed. How important is the economic empowerment of people in these villages as a component for a sustainable development?
If you wish to develop an economy, you need to have behind you strong people,
Indeed.
Educated, well-developed, having their own rights, living a decent life, getting a good education and training, culture, even in the sports part. I mean, you cannot ask people to build a country like Egypt while they don't enjoy the basic, I repeat, how do we say it? The basic حقوق, I can't find the word.
Rights.
Their basic rights.
Yes.
So here, when Mr. President has decided to develop all the governorates and the respected villages, which could reach around 5,000 villages,
Yes.
Here you are building a new Egypt. You're building new people. You're building new societies. The Egyptians represent 50% of the Egyptians are young. The young generation is around 50 million. With that number, you can develop not only Egypt, you can develop all the region and Africa. So that mega project, this is a huge project, is very important. So that, I repeat, and I said it several times, the government or the country cannot do this alone.
Yes.
But the government is responsible, or the country is responsible for developing the infrastructure. And the rest will be developed by communities, by business people, by major Egyptians living overseas. So I respect very much the step which was taken by Minister Hala, whereby the banking sector can cooperate.
Indeed.
Because the banking sector can finance the infrastructure. They have large amount of money. And then other entities where I work personally on another mega project to help that part, which are the business people, the young generation, the ladies. So that's a mega project, and I call it even the project of the era for Egypt.
Yes.
We will build a new country. When you build a new country, you build new generations. If you have strong generations, you can then say our economic situation will improve, our business will develop, we will work in all aspects of the economy, starting from agriculture, the fishing, infrastructure, building new cities, new factories, microfinance, small and medium-sized enterprises.
Yes.
But building the project itself is the responsibility for all Egyptians.
Indeed. Dr. Fahmy, Minister of Planning Helal Saeed, held a meeting with the banks that actually can provide funds needed for the micro-small projects. What kinds of projects are actually suitable for the people in these villages?
Egypt was one of the first countries in the world to develop micro products, meaning the micro industries. Like Khan Khalili products, like all that type of things. Egypt was one of the first countries in the world to promote that type of business, especially with the hand of their ladies at home, in the small enterprises, the micro enterprises. The banks are responsible for advancing finance in every governorate, because they exist in every governorate. They are as well existing in every village. So they can advance funds to develop that. First, to develop the training.
Yes.
Second, to build the institutions where they're going to work all of them together as producers. So, and they could cooperate as well with international cooperations to get trainers from overseas, etc. So that meeting of Minister Hala is extremely important, so that all the banking sector must, and I repeat, must make available the type of finance which could help those people to develop their business, and then every governorate will become attractive on its own.
Yes.
The tourists shouldn't go only to Cairo, Alexandria, and Port Said. Every part in Egypt is a beauty. So when we develop the big project where Mr. President has started to work on, then we help our young generation to develop that type of business. I think the economy of Egypt will be totally different.
Indeed. Finally, Dr. Pacinthe, to empower people in these villages economically, especially the women, do we need to provide them with funds for their projects only, or what else do we need to provide to them?
No, we need to improve the standard of living, and that's the first part the Mr. President is working on day and night. We need to improve the standard of living first, infrastructure services first, water, electricity, sewage, decent houses. You have to do this at the beginning. You cannot ask people who cannot really live a decent life to produce beautiful things. So we need at the beginning the large project, the huge project, the mega project, which Mr. President has inaugurated, where it's to how to re-engineer the villages, re-engineer the governorate to promote and to extend to the people a decent standard of living. Then after that, you can ask them to produce beautiful things and become a major part of our economy.
Indeed, Dr. Pacinthe Fahmy, our economic expert, many thanks for your precious input.